The divine plan for the golden age, beloved, does indeed begin with cosmic Christ illumination for all, but beginning with those who will understand that to be a shaft of illumination's flame, to be a pillar of the light of God, that is the feminine ray anchored at Lake Titicaca, is to open the door to that golden age. Therefore, let the goal of your battles fought and won, your entering Armageddon on the astral plane through your good works and decrees, let that goal of that service in the court be to clear the way through the astral plane for illumination's flame to descend from the central sun into the hearts of those who are most receptive, most ready by their inner discipleship, and most illumined in the inner mysteries. It is a question of percentages. This figure cannot be told or known by you, but if there is reached a certain percentage of the evolutions of this earth who achieve that thread of contact with the true orb of cosmic Christ illumination, that is their Christ self, their mighty I Am presence, and the central sun, then you will see that the opening will widen and a continuity of individual Christhood might be the very element which forged and won can be the restoration of hope, the hope of the yellow ribbon and the tie that binds, the hope that does become by faith even the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, which shall surely come to be. There will not be allowed a golden age based on any other foundation, beloved, for only by cosmic Christ illumination can the evolutions of earth be entrusted with the science that is present and the future science that is to come. Now the crown chakra is the highest and is reached by the soul by the raising of the mother light and the purification of all other chakras. This is why the foundation you lay in your decree work is so necessary, for in the process of world transmutation, you are also clearing your individual chakras and clearing the way for the pure light rays of the 7 rays to be anchored in them. Therefore, beloved, neglect not the crowning glory of the conclusion of your services to offer a decree on this line. It is the 12-6 axis of your clock, and it is the 2nd ray. Neglect not to offer all that is given for this work to go on, to the Buddhas, to the Bodhisattvas, to the world teachers and Maitreya, to Gautama Buddha, to all of the Bodhisattvas and Buddhas at inner levels, to those waiting to embody. This world needs the rain, even the yellow rain of cosmic Christ illumination. I know that you perceive it, and the Goddess Meru with me knows that you perceive this. But, beloved, it is one thing to perceive it, and one thing to initiate the spiral. The spiral of illumination, as illumined action, is defined as the internalization of the Christ consciousness. This comes from above, from God, your mighty I Am presence, but it will never be anchored or come without your in-depth study of the teachings that have been given which will unlock keys and doors to your own being, your psychology, and ultimately to the mind of God that is intended to embody through you. Thus, you crochet many chalices that are filled with illumination, as stitch by stitch, loop by loop, you are understanding the teaching in all of its precepts, and this truly is power. It is the power of the second ray. It is the power of illumined action. You take for granted the lights in this room, electric lights, electricity. You take for granted energy. You take for granted even candle power. But beloved, imagine yourself on a darkened star, a darkened world, where the only light there is the light that shines from the heart. Be prepared to illumine a world not by technology, but by your heart flame. And even in the darkest night of a darkened world, that light raised up will draw all similar light bearers unto you. Earth is in this state now, as are her evolutions. People are blinded by their karma and their lusts, by their programming, by the media and the press, and therefore you must have a powerful sun center, individual by individual, to draw to this place those who can be God-taught, who are teachable, who are humble enough and without fear to receive the chastening rod of love's wisdom. Those who fear contact with God often fear contact with a messenger. Those who have not much soul stuff or heart flame development seek by every means to avoid the encounter, for they have not internalized the chastening love of the Father, Mother God that peels away the stubborn pride and allows the soul to take flight in the joy of her own inner illumination. Oh, the child that is neglected is the child that weeps. Therefore seek correction while you have one who holds our rod in your midst. The divine plan for the golden age of Aquarius, beloved, is surely the illumination of one Francis Bacon, of one Saint Germain and his beloved Portia, setting the tempo which you have glimpsed in this century and did glimpse formerly in prior golden ages of Atlantis and in the last age of Aquarius. May you understand how this illumination, and that is the meaning of the term gold and golden in the age, can enable you to have such great freedom. See how beautiful is the combination of the color bands of the violet and the purple with the golden yellow. See how one sparks the other, and how truly God government in the earth can be. Blessed ones, the fact that it can be owes much to a determination and a sacrifice that you have given, and which I counsel you not to regret. Do not regret now the putting back together again of the cosmic honor flame of this community, each one toward the other, and the entire community toward every part of life. This is a moment when you can excel in highest good and rise to the capacity of truly embodying that golden age as hope has told you, in your aura, in your being, even as you receive the second coming of Christ in your temple. For the moment of this initiation, as you have been told concerning the descent of the city foursquare, comes to each individual soul as she is prepared. O the Blessed Mother, O the Blessed Mother Meru, and every other manifestation of the Divine Mother, how it is a moment of tenderness, how is it a moment, how it is a moment for each one of you to be a babe again, cradled in the arms of Mother. Fear not to take your rest this night, visualizing yourself as a babe in the arms of the Divine Mother. And know that Omega dear, caresses you this night. And know that this caressing is that you might have the loving and the tenderness and the bonding for which you have yearned in many cases for century upon century, as human mothers could not provide truly the light that you waited for upon the hour of your birth. For some of you, this has meant a compromise of your identity and your path, as you could not come to grips in an entire lifetime with a sense of the loss of a mother's love. This night you shall have it, beloved, if you will accept it. And make a quick call for the binding of all unconscious anger against the Divine Mother or human mothers. For you must let this go into golden illumination's flame. Let it be transmuted, beloved, for then your being will flow freely into the being of Omega, and you will feel the warmth, the tenderness, the sustenance, and bonded forever to Omega, you will no longer have that psychological vulnerability to the forces of the anti-mother that are everywhere upon earth. Of course, you know sugar is an anti-mother, and its hierarchy so, as well as drugs and every addiction and misuses of the sacred fire. And can you imagine, so far off from the Divine Mother, so far away from the sound of her voice and the symphony of her heart, have her children gone, that they can consider rock music as a lullaby to their beings? How can you equate this to the true lullaby of the Divine Mother? O precious ones, the vision we envision can be anchored through the music of the spheres lowered, and the music you have already has brought many to the fount of the love of Mother. So remember, many in this world have denied the Divine Mother when she has come. For they have said, "Where have you been? Where were you when we needed you? We will not receive you now. It is too late." Thus their anger is truly self-destructive. This is why it is well to have your lamps trimmed, to be ready always, each and every day, for the midnight hour when Christ, the bridegroom, comes. You do not know and may be least prepared when an ascended master raps on your window thrice. Blessed ones, if you have not transmuted that something in your being that rebels against the person of God, you may just miss that entire initiation. Among the parables of Jesus, that of the wise and foolish virgins is most applicable. For the flames you tend, as you know, are the chalices of the chakras, and the one for whom you wait may be Maitreya or Jesus or one of our bands, even from Mount Meru unto Lake Titicaca. So, dear hearts, do not postpone to a distant day the golden age. You can worship God. You may say in your heart, I know not what anyone else may do, but as for me and my house, we will worship the Lord. I am that I am. So fulfilling this to its ultimate, you and your house will stand a pillar of fire of illumination, and in a darkened world gathering more unto itself, it shall also gather the little ones. Those then who have given much, to them will much be given of succor and healing, riches of the Spirit, which if you apply the love ray, you may crystallize in the abundant life on earth. Love and freedom and the free flow through one's being. Take courage, beloved. We at Lake Titicaca applaud your efforts in many directions, none so much or greater than your efforts at the education of the heart of the child. The education of the mind is essential, and of the soul, this cannot be omitted. But the neglect of the education of the heart should be the greatest neglect of all. This requires love of parents and teachers, love great enough to teach the 12-petaled chakra and the child's heart. What is the way to go? What is the way of doing things? The practical way, the common sense way, the tidy way, the orderly way, the careful way, the loving way, the gracious way, the magnanimous way, truly the merciful way, the compassionate way, the intelligent way, the middle way of the Buddha and his eightfold path, the way of the great commands of Jesus and of the lords who preceded him, and he himself who preceded himself. Yes, beloved, the way of doing things, the way of endowing with love and harmony, the balance of strength and knowledge. This is the education of the heart. And without the fundamentals of the 3 R's and the ability of the child to ferret out knowledge by logic, by conclusion, and even by induction, these things are so necessary before the age of 7 and beyond. I ask every member of this community worldwide to daily demand the binding and the judgment, and to call to us the Merus and all of our bands to assist you, of the force of Antichrist that denies that yellow cross over every parent, teacher, child, and sponsor of youth, and this should include the entire race. And this should include the entire race. Let them be cleared of all opposition to that true cosmic Christ instruction, self-knowledge, initiation descending daily from above through the crown chakra, that is not closed up tight by ignorance and bigotry and denial of the Christ, but that has begun to open in the soul's receptivity to the Buddha. Thus, beloved, you have battles to fight and win against the sinister force that has opposed the enlightenment of the evolutions of this earth for centuries. Let it come about, and I pray you will ask El Moria for the labor for the binding of the entire lot of serpents and fallen ones that went after the twin flames in the mystery school. Let these false teachers at inner levels whose time has come be the subject of your judgment calls, for they truly sit in the seat of authority, and they have seized the holy place for want of Christed ones seated in the heart chakra. I say to you, we at Lake Titicaca, combined with all servants of the second ray and the Christ and the Buddha and the light and illumined action, we comprise millions upon millions. We are determined, we are ready, we are waiting for your call for the judgment of the false hierarchy of the second ray infiltrating everywhere upon earth. We are ready, and hosts of the Lord are ready to make that golden age happen. It may not happen until severe karmic conditions have been passed through the earth, but happen it can if you will lay this foundation. Why the perversion of this ray extends to aliens who hover over earth with one purpose in mind, to see to it that the little children are denied the bread of life and the opportunity for Christhood. This false hierarchy is fearsome, but fear not, for God is with you, and you have demonstrated the law, and you know the yellow flame of victory. There is goodly time left in this conference for this work, not neglecting the defense of the church at hand and its adversaries. May you build upon that your calls to clear the decks of this planet of those who have overstayed their time because of their entrenchment and their sympathetic ties to those who revere them as great scholars and learned men and women, when in fact they bring only the destruction of the soul. The vision then is a new age, and if you see it this night, you will see a great golden age civilization with shafts upon shafts of golden illumination descending, and everything bathed in that yellow hue. This vision, beloved, is enough, for it is a vision that is an assignment. When that assignment is engaged, the doors of the vision will open wider and wider to you on an individual basis as you see the role you will play in that age to come, whether as ascended or as unascended beings. May you don the garments now and be dressed in style when the era comes. May you know truly the meaning of applying to Kuthumi, to his order of the brothers and sisters of the golden robe. For surely that is the foundation that is laid for the Bodhisattva path, which I trust you shall embrace if you have not already done so, and many have. If you would like to know where to begin, then take the 10 vows of Kuan Yin, and you will be on your way. And now, as the hour has struck here in Lake Titicaca, we shall be on our way, and we bid you a fond adieu in the name of Helios and Vesta.